Hi everyone, it's Allison from QuiltNCode and my brother, the Kilted Quilter over here. And we are here for our monthly nightcap. This is the end of March.
Right. In like a lion, out like a crazier lion.
Right. I mean, how crazy is it that we're almost to April?
Well, that just happened because of time, but no, it used to be that March came in with all this wind, and then it sort of pittered out, and then we get April showers, and then the May flowers, and
we have had
wind,
and
something fierce,
wind and more wind.
We've been, I think we have been under basically we've been under a do not burn warning for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah. And there are fires in the area, and of course, because we had in September tons and tons of wind and rain, and so now we have wind and fire.
Well, because all the stuff that got blown down in September is burning.
And so my husband in the background is saying that's because of all the debris from Helene is now just a timber match with the 50-mile-per-hour winds that we have outside.
So what you're saying is that we are a famous 1970s R&B band, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, with it. Oh, yes.
My brain was just need the earth.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Landslides.
So lots and lots of jokes going off in the background. Right. About Earth, Wind, and Fire. So one of our we enjoy that band. So and so all we now need is Earth. But I have been playing with Earth too because I'm trying to get my garden and stuff ready to go, and I have enlisted my poor family.
September.
Enlisted my poor family to make 2 garden beds. And we've planted 6 blueberries, and there are 4 more on the way, along with a whole bunch of raspberries and asparagus and strawberries and
a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree, and
Didn't tell me that was coming.
I loved going out this morning though, because when I went out to the garden this morning to go feed the chickens and let the chickens out, we had 2 robins like sitting on top of the garden beds. I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly, I need this nature. And they were, talking to each other and stuff. Anyway.
Until she realized they were eating the worms out of her garden. She went, no!
No. Okay, so no, what we did realize is that Penelope, the kitten, has decided that they're nice, big, huge litter boxes.
But that's just,
nature,
fertilizer
right?
and more nitrogen and... Yeah.
Right, it's just nature. So tonight we are going to share a drink that's called the
Slightly Windy.
Slightly Windy, which is maybe to make it more windy. What would you do? Add more Bacardi?
Possibly. It's like if I wanted this to be like full blown. Let's say we wanted to like do this to your hair. Then let's see. How would I doctor this up?
So anyway, you think about that.
Oh no! Here's what I would do. We have Schweppes ginger ale is our ginger ale of choice this evening. Turns out it's actually the lower calorie ginger ale, and I like it because it actually packs a little more ginger flavor in my mind. But I would get a South Carolina staple called Blenheim ginger ale. It's brewed just south of the border, around south of the border, if you know 95.
South Carolina.
But in South Carolina, they make this, and it has cayenne in the ginger ale, so it packs a real kick. And yeah, that would be a mostly windy or windy with a chance of baldness. I don't know.
So we're going to do a slightly windy drink. We're going to introduce some of the new fabrics that we have. And then I am going to talk about a simple thing that everyone should know, but maybe not. And as we're traveling and going to all these shows and I'm doing demonstrations, I'm realizing how many people didn't quite get that concept, but went, oh yeah, it made sense. And so I'm going to explain that. And that's our show for this evening. So let's
One more thing.
Oh, wait.
I will do and
then there's a special surprise at the end.
Just a minor PSA, not the PSA I have written for our fabric, but this is a PSA for Kyla.
Oh.
Kyla would like everyone to go back and watch Allison's border video to remind themselves how to put borders on a quilt. Because too many patterns out there say, cut your fabric and then just sew it on and cut it to size at the end. And the quilt winds up
So I'll try
that
and get
shaped.
you to, yeah, we'll try and get that linked into that. I know I have that video out there, and so poor Lainey's going to furiously try and figure out how to find that that video that has borders, because borders are super important. They are what keep your quilt square.
They can
And
take an
so-
unsquare quilt and make it square, but if you
Yes.
put them on wrong, it can take
Yes.
your best squared up quilt and just turn it into an hourglass.
And even if it's a small quilt and you think it's not going to matter, it can really cause you issues in the end, and then it's not fun anymore. And so we want to keep everything fun, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to keep things fun. And so that's what that video is all about.
Even if it's that long.
Right. And so, okay, so that's a PSA for that, and then there is a special mystery thing at the end
Okay.
that we'll tell you all about.
We do have a hello here from hello friends from Doreen at Privies and Prim's Needlecrafts.
Hi, Doreen.
Hello, Doreen. Thank you for joining us this evening. Awesome. All right, cool. So
I posted the ingredients in
Good.
our list, or in our announcement yesterday. I didn't post the ingredient amounts. One of the things that we've not used in the past is Angostura bitters. And these are used in just about any cocktail. They like to throw these in there. It's a lot of various spices. The interesting thing on the bottle is appointed to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, manufacturers of Angostura bitters. Angostura Limited, Port of Spain, and it's made in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, neat.
It's
Okay.
lots of tropical spices.
It's not alcohol itself.
It is alcoholic because it's like an extract.
It's an extract. Okay.
So it does have.
So if I drink that, will I get drunk?
No.
You would probably go blind before you went. Well,
So
sort of
not
like eating a
something-
whole thing of nutmeg. You don't want to do that.
right.
You will have hallucinations and then die a terrible death.
Ooh, okay.
it's-
I won't be drinking it then. But when I smell it, because I was like, why are we doing aromatic bitters in our drink? When I smell it, I definitely smell like the nutmeg, and I smell clove, and I smell
Right.
It almost smells like an allspice type of thing, like
Which would make a lot of sense considering it's Caribbean.
yeah, but then it also has. I honestly feel like it has a perfumey smell, and so
There's probably even some cinnamon and.
right. So
I
it's-
know
it's
that
an
there are.
interesting smell. Okay.
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
know
and
there are
make my drink.
recipes out there for making your own, and you literally use like 2 dashes, or this is a dropper, so it just I
Right.
put in 4 drops in the drink, and it does change things because instead of being very rum and ginger ale, it all of a sudden there's
gives it a
something
little
else going on.
Extra
Yeah.
spice.
So first off, I gotta put the ice into my shaker, and it is 1.5 ounces of dark rum.
I wonder what it tastes like with spice rum.
And so my mom asked in the background, I wonder what it tastes like with spiced rum.
Honestly, if you use the spice rum, you
Probably could get rid of the bitters.
Probably, it would be a completely different set of spices, but yeah, you could probably do away with the bitters.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not good.
1 ounce of lime juice. I'm using the bottled stuff because I'm lazy and
Right?
How many limes does it take to make a bottle?
So how
Well-
many limes would be, if you were to use real
about
limes?
a whole lime.
Well, and it would be stronger
depends on
than
the
that, wouldn't it?
You mean the
If
lime
you were
flavor?
to use a real lime,
it
would
would
it be
be
stronger than
brighter,
that?
but not necessarily stronger.
Okay.
And then my dash of bitters.
Okay. And so
then,
all it is rum so far, bitters, and lime.
You might want to mute mine.
Right?
Now, that's not a real bartender shake. They typically go for almost a minute, but this is cold.
He's been complaining about that the whole time because he's already made a couple drinks.
Hence, Will is saying he is not a real bartender.
So I put,
They might have something. I don't know. They might have some. I don't. We drink so much. I go to bars all the time. So I know nothing. I mean, I've learned more watching him do stuff, and he's learned more watching him do stuff.
Do you have to strain it if you're going to be adding ice?
So,
not necessarily. You don't have to strain it if you're adding ice anyway, but
It's fun to strain.
yeah, he likes using his. My mom is in the background going, "Do you really have to strain
well,
it if you're not using?"
you don't know how quickly this stuff might fly out of the thing and break your glass. So
Right.
So,
Right.
Deb, the pug mama or Mama Quilter says hi again from Iowa.
Hello, welcome, Deb. All right, so I stir this, right?
yes, a little swizzle just to mix it together.
All right, and then oops. Okay, I can try it.
Go for it.
It's like a good lemonade.
It is. It's like a good lemonade.
See, I realized in looking at the recipe, it's sort of a Moscow Mule, which is ginger ale and lime and vodka.
So you could to make this a low sugar version.
I mean, you could
It's
use
the only
diet.
sugar is the ginger ale.
Right, you could use diet ginger ale if you wanted to. Alcohols convert to sugar, so most people who are watching their sugar shouldn't be drinking much in way of alcohol anyway. But there's not, as you see, much in way of alcohol in this. There's only the, ounce and a half of rum.
And if you wanted to make it non-alcoholic, could you still use the bitters?
Yes.
So
the dash of bitters that you've put in here is less than orange juice has.
So
Vanilla is your recipe.
Right.
right. Okay. So how would you, if you were going to make it virgin, how would you get the rum flavor?
You could do basically the same thing. You're going to have a little hint of alcohol in it, but you can get rum extract. And you could drop
there you go.
a couple of drops of rum extract, a couple of drops of the Angostura, then you've got your lime juice.
God, that's good.
And your diet or regular.
Nice. Uh-oh.
So Sue Ellen says hi.
Hi,
and
Sue
then
Ellen.
Doreen has a very serious question.
Okay, Doreen, give it to me.
The very serious question is, are you going to have crooked lines if you drink before quilting?
The wonderful thing about this is that the little camera that goes up close is over there. And so you won't know if I do. But yes, it is.
Too much.
I really have more problems cutting after 8 p.m. than I have cutting after drinking. So that tells you something. So, but I don't drink that much. So, this is the first drink I've had since like last Monday when we did our live the last time.
Right?
Right? I'm going to wait till you're done.
Trying not to be.
This is what I would do with the babies. I'd go, shake it up, baby.
Yeah, I'm-
shake it up, baby.
Trying not to be too shake weighty on this, but
No, it's delicious. I think it's that added lime to the ginger ale that really is. It's really, really nice. So
Who's taking over this?
Carla,
I will.
tag, you're it.
Lanny has to go off to work, so Kyla is tagging in. So, what I would love to start by saying thank you all to those that watch later and those that are on for coming and visiting us at the shows. we had a wonderful, wonderful month this month for shows. And starting now with Helene to be in the background for the shop and get our finances back in order. And so thank you so much for visiting us at the shows. We have one more show coming up in May. That's the next show. I shouldn't say just one because we have several coming up, but we do have one in May. That's going to be in Raleigh. And so I get to see all my Raleigh friends again. We will be at the Original Sew Expo in Raleigh. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you definitely have to drink this with your pinky out, though.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pinky can't touch the glass on this one. This one's good.
Right. We are almost exactly 6 months from Helene, according to Kyla in the background. So thank you for that information.
Yeah, that'll be sweet.
So we had 2 customers in today. One thinks that the damage that was done to her mother's house will be finally fixed up within the next month. They've finally gotten majority of the other stuff taken care of, but they still have some stuff happening at Mom's house. And so there is still cleanup. And I'll tell you what, I am so tired of dump trucks. I mean, I think I have said that since this all started. But anyway, and not only that, but it feels like, well, I mean, it just feels like they're tearing up the road more than they are fixing the road. And so, but there were no stops on the way into work today. That was the first time we had been able to leave the house and drive without having to be stopped by workmen or those silly...
Still had to dodge all the potholes and stuff. But.
Oh my gosh, yes. But the silly stop sign. I mean, they have brought in all of these little silly stop signs so they can sit in their car and they don't have to hold the sign anymore. And so you got the silly stop sign. Anyway, yes.
Cold
And so
out
then
there.
I know it's cold out there sometimes. But then you feel like you're left there. Like, you know, okay, does somebody actually... Is somebody actually... I mean, and sometimes you're sitting for 15, 20 minutes at a pop. So you have no idea if they really are paying any attention. I mean, I know... Anyway, you just can't see around the curves. And I know they're working really, really hard. I know they are. And I do not want them to leave for real. But anyway, so people are getting, you know... People are getting back to it. And things are coming back to normal. But gosh, golly, gee whiz, 6 freaking months... And now the fires, like poor Jeremy, who got laid off from his work when the disaster happened, still hasn't picked up his stuff from his old work. And so we were going to go out this weekend, and now there's fires all around his work. And so they're saying, you know, maybe not this weekend. And so, I mean, he's only got to pick up another, because he was living there, he only has to pick up another box or 2. But, okay, I'm done. All right, so let's talk about the gorgeous, gorgeous new fabrics that came in this past couple of weeks. When this fabric came to us by distributor, my brother went absolutely gaga. And that was because it is...
Look at all the poses I had to do for them to, you know, they had to put my portrait right there.
Now, did this one come with a panel?
Yes.
Do we still have the panel? The panel's up? Oh, he's going to show you the panel. All right, hold on. So bring down the panel, because look, oh my God, look at this.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead. Mom wants to make a comment.
Ruby's and Friends. She says we live near a red light and we hear the truck's brakes all day. I call them truck farts.
Right? Like it's ridiculous.
You have to repeat that because I'm sure it didn't.
Okay, so Mom says that that Doreen mentioned that those
She lives near a red light.
she lives near a red light and she's constantly hearing those trucks and it sounds like they're farting, so they're truck farts. And I'll tell you what, like the other day, we live out in the country, man. It's nice and quiet out there. It is not quiet right now. Like, and it hasn't been since that silly storm. Like,
Well, it was
trucks.
very, very quiet the first few days after the storm.
Well, that's true. Okay, it was very, very quiet for about a month.
Till we got the trees cleared off.
And then when the dump truck started coming, it hasn't been quiet since because it is just constant noise and tractors. And like I said, I really love them. And I'm so glad they're there.
It was worse when the helicopter.
Right? I mean, like the helicopters and then the dump trucks. I'm telling you, we really all of us in this silly Western North Carolina want to go back to our peace and quiet of the mountains. Okay, I will shut up now. All right, so look at this gorgeous panel. Every single one of these little sweet big feet are a different pose. And so that's one of the reasons why we absolutely love QT Fabrics, is because QT Fabrics, and they are done by, it's Michael Morris, right? The Morris Creative.
You're thinking Michael Miller.
I'm thinking Michael Miller. It's the Morris Creative Group, and the Morris Creative Group they've come up with a technique of being able to provide all sorts of different poses. And so their fabric has become that was one of the things that Will was frustrated with when we first got into this business, is that things would be like you'd get 3 different poses. And they would just keep repeating them or switch them. And now it's like, oh my God, it's so cute. So
this is
one of the reasons why we deal with cute.
20 different Bigfoots,
right?
Sasquatches.
And they're about...
Yetis.
I think they're about...
They are a 7x7.
7x7 square. And so I could easily use this, and so could you, in a 3-yard... a 3-yard book.
I do have a designed quilt for this. There's also, yes, and there is a border fabric that is not shown here this evening that will go around it to make the quilt a twin when I'm done putting it together and confirming all that. The pattern will be made available with the kit.
And those are little big feet.
And these are little big feet. Aren't they? I mean, like, it's just sweet. And I love the coloring, too. It's so... And then here is some mountain scenes to go with the little big feet and the Sasquatches. And so this is just us. It is totally QuiltNCode, Western North Carolina's. Fantastic. And then, okay, so what are you going to show us
after
next?
This all came at about the same time.
Oh, my gosh, like all right
after the big feet, we have this beauty.
And I swear we're not done. Like, I swear I ordered more to go with this. So I am 99% sure that there is more fabric coming with this in the next week or so.
Yeah, well, this panel's going to sell out quick anyway.
Right. I'm like, but I don't know if I need any more fabric. This panel is going to sell out in no time just because of its brilliance. It just has got this gorgeous, brilliant color.
Yeah, that's the other thing we've discovered with QT is their palette is so much brighter, more vibrant than many of the others.
It's very, very vivid, as my mom says. Cool. Okay. So, and what is the name of that one, Will?
This one is...
So the big feet are Bigfoot by QT.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of this one.
We're working on it.
No, it's not on the selvage.
So we'll have to figure out what that one is, and we'll get that in the chat. And then, because, you just cannot have enough butterflies, we have this gorgeous beauty. And again, it's a QT, Morris Creative, and so every single butterfly is different.
16 different ones this time?
16 different butterflies. And Willard, do you remember how big these are?
These are approaching 10-inch square.
So these are 10-inch squares, but you know what? They came out with this absolutely gorgeous, I love 3-yard books. And they came out with this absolutely gorgeous pattern that we used with the mice, the wizard mice.
Yeah, this one will fit right into most of the 10-inch squares most of the large square patterns in the 3-yard books are 10-inch squares. So this one will slot right in.
It would be interesting to me, too, if you were to use a turning 20. I bet you could use a turning 20 with that, too. And that is an older book that used fat quarters. And so you would get 20 fat quarters and go with it. In this case, you would go with 19 fat quarters or whatever to fill out and I did that with numerous things, and it was just awesome. And then this came in, and I know mushrooms are like gonna leave. They're gonna have their day, and they're gonna be done. But I'm not done with them yet.
This is mushrooms and dragonflies. The name of this will be on that.
It will.
bolt.
Okay, so this is the one that goes with it. I think we have another one downstairs.
Spring Bling.
That goes with it. Spring Bling, and it is all mushrooms. And then this. Let me see if I can bring it up. You can see it's little mushroom vignettes, and my daughter was like, "Ooh, you could make pins with that," and you could do. I mean, all of a sudden, she was being really creative. It was really cute.
Buttons.
And so I cannot. And these are what, 5x5?
Yeah.
They're around a 5x5 square. So I'm telling you guys, I got to get up
30.
here and sew, man.
Right.
They're a ton.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3,
No, more than
4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Yes.
Wow.
42.
No,
different...
42 would be 6 times 8.
Oh yeah,
No,
it would.
What?
6 times 8 is 48.
Is it?
42.
It's been too many years since elementary school. I can't remember that stuff anymore.
42 different ones, and so that would make I don't know, but I am going to get up here and work on that because this stuff is mine. So the mushrooms are mine. Will's going to work on a quilt for the Anna kit
For the big feet?
the big feet. And so those are things that we will have coming soon. All right, clear
Yep.
this off so that I can do a demo. And I took the pins out. There you go.
Wasn't there another? No, I guess not.
Mom's thinking there was another one, and
There
another
is.
Bigfoot. There is
It's
another
the,
one coming. Oh no, it's
The border fabric.
So we do have several other things. We just ordered our Shop Hop fabric. Shop Hop comes up in August and September.
Yep.
No, September and October.
I think we may have shown the dragons in one of our previous. And they're gone. But we
been
have a
making,
new
in
set
other
of
words-
dragons coming up.
We've been making some really good decisions. So it's been good. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
that's right. And of course, I'm not even going to remember the name of this one. This is a new kit in stock. Also QT, as you can see from the very bright blues. And we've had more interest in the pattern than the kit, but we've sold a few of these kits. And we have a couple of bolts of fabric, specifically the dark blue here, that you can order yardage of.
It's right. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we do have 12 patterns coming.
Yes.
And so, because we've had so much, it is, I mean, I bet you my mushrooms would fit right there in this pattern. And so it's a really versatile pattern. And so I think it's going to really, I think a lot, that's why so many people are asking for the pattern. All right, so I wanted to, let me see if you guys can see this. Excellent. Okay, so I'm using my Stripology tonight. And what I wanted to do is I've been doing lots and lots of demonstrations on 2 different things when I'm at shows. I do them on the Caterpillars, which I did on the 17th. And then tonight I'm going to show you a little bit about my Stripology. And the main thing I wanted to demonstrate and talk about is that this Stripology is the Stripology Mini. And sometimes when it doesn't matter whether you're using maybe you're using a ruler like this one, and you know that it's too small for you to get across the whole piece of fabric, but you need to have a strip. And so you need to know how to cut that. And it took me a long time. I am going to fess up right here. I was cutting wrong for a long, long time. And it wasn't that I was cutting wrong. It was just simply that there was a better way, so that I didn't end up with strips like this. And I couldn't figure out why. I mean, like, the strip would be just fine. And then the strip would be like this. And then the strip would be just fine. And I was like, I don't understand what is going on. And then I figured it out. The reason why my strips were doing that is because it was not cutting from the fold, okay? If I was cutting from my salvage and up here, there was a tendency for my fold to be askew. And if my fold's askew, then my fabric is going to be askew in that fold. And so if I am lining up my horizontal line with my fold, then I will not have as many problems. I am not saying it's going to be perfect. I am simply saying you won't have as many problems. And so I line up just like that, and I do try to line up some of my salvage if I can, but sometimes the salvage and the fold are not right. And my mother is whispering things in the background. What does she want?
I don't know.
Kerfuffle came on.
Oh, hi, Kerfuffle.
Yay, stripology.
So this is just a basic how to cut your strips. Okay, so the first thing I do is I fold it in half. Okay, so now I've got my fold toward me. Okay, if I am on my big table and I'm standing, I still have my fold toward me. Okay, and then I take whatever ruler it is, whether it's this ruler, my long ruler, or my stripology, and I line that horizontal line up with my fold. Okay. But you are seeing right away that with my Stripology Mini, my fabric isn't fitting inside the slots, okay? And so when that happens, we have a problem, right? So if I need to make it so that I can cut strips within that smaller space, and it doesn't matter if I have this ruler right here, I still cannot cut this. I mean, I could move it, or I can do it a different way, okay? And so now you're going to fold it just like this. Now, you want to make sure, though, that the fold line here and the fold line here are still horizontal and that they're on the same horizontal line. So a trick a customer showed me was that you could take your ruler and you could line it right up like that so that you can make sure that that horizontal line and that horizontal line are perfect. And then you can pull your ruler out. And then what I do with my Stripology, yes, my favorite tool in the whole wide world, is now I can line it up. And using my Caterpillar, I can see really well through all 4 layers of fabric that I am completely lined up horizontally in both places, so that now I can cut my strips. Now, this is the dullest blade on the freaking planet, so I'm gonna have to go through twice. And now
I think I could find duller.
You think you can find duller? So the kids, we were doing kids yesterday, teaching kids yesterday, and they were so funny because I came over to cut some fabric, and Sarah had already cut some for one of the kids, and she looks at me and she goes, Miss Allison, she goes, that's a really dull blade. And I said, well, Mabel, the reason why it's so dull is because I knew that the blade was dull, so I did paper piecing with it, so that just in case I hit the paper, it wouldn't, I knew it was dull. So, okay, let's see how these came out. So I have cut inch strips here. All right. They did not. So, I mean, they came out mostly, but, dull blade. That's what you get. That's what you get. Okay, so now I have my straight lines. Even though I'm drinking, I have straight lines for the most part. Where I was cutting right there is just a little bit off. But that shows you how to make sure when you're cutting. I know it sounds like it should be like, oh yeah, but what was happening to me was that half the time I was cutting from the fold, and the other half the time I was cutting from the salvage. And so that's what happened to me. That's why half the time everything worked out just fine. And then the other half of the time, it did not work out fine. And I couldn't figure out why. And so now you know when you are cutting any strips or anything like that, in order to get them straight, you want to make sure you are cutting so that the fold is towards you and that you are lining up your horizontal lines with that fold.
And we do that on bolts.
And we do that on bolts. We do that with, most of the time we try to do it on bolts. If it's a really huge bolt, it's really hard. It's especially hard, like...
Well, you cannot guarantee it with
Yeah,
a
you
3-yard
can't.
fabric.
And you can't guarantee. Uh-oh. So there's...
Previous and Prim's Needlework says, this is, I know where you can get replacement blades.
Yeah, I do too. I can get them downstairs. I can get replacement blades downstairs for this one and for my other one. So, right, the kids, and so next week we'll have a nice replacement blade on it. And it was a boo-boo. Like, no, it wasn't. Okay. It was the blade I had been using for 3 weeks at the shows. And it was starting to come dull. And then I needed to do some paper piecing. And I said, the heck with this. And I said, I'm just going to use my good blade, which isn't really good anymore. And so then I pulled this one out. And this one's not really good either. So yes, we do know where we can get some replacement blades. So we will go downstairs and get some replacement blades. So, okay. That was my demonstration. If you, I would love to hear what you want, what's working for you and what's not working for you, and let's help each other through sewing. Like, it didn't even realize. I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize I was having an issue. I just was like, this is really weird. Anyway, so if you realize you have an issue or you're trying to sew something and you're like, I'm just not quite sure how to do this, let us know. So that we can work through it together. And it might be something that we hadn't thought about until you mention it. And we would love to solve all our sewing problems together. So, cool. Okay, so he's making faces, and I'm not quite sure why he's making faces.
It's just my face.
I think he's the one who has a little too much to drink sometimes. See, you're much further along than I am. And you drink about as much as I do.
Where is Privies and Prim's located?
Mom would like to know where Privies and Prim's is located. And so if you would please put that in Doreen, if you would please put that in the chat, that would be awesome. So that we can share contacts. That would be awesome. So we have exciting news. We are just getting into we are charter members, actually, of Mystery 5.0. And, right, so we're really, really excited. Our first, meeting and getting things started starts Monday for us as a shop. By April 5th or something like that, you guys will start getting information about how to join us. And what it is it's a mystery quilt program. The very first one is completely free, and we will be going through it together. Right now, everything is just as much a mystery to me as it is to you guys. It's going to be good for us in that the program is really geared towards helping us as local quilt shops to grow our online. And so, Doreen, we might need to talk, see if we can get some collaboration in here. So we're really excited about that coming up. And then we've got so many new things I want to do and just cannot get up here. And then Mom says there's something else. Go ahead.
She's in Burnsville. She says she doesn't have a shop, but she does come into our shop to buy fabric for cross stitch and project bags.
So Doreen is here in Burnsville.
And she says she does have a YouTube channel for cross stitch.
And she has a YouTube channel for cross stitch. So we're looking at and give me the name again so I can make sure it's right.
Privies and Prim's.
Privies and Prim's
Needlecrafts.
So Privies and Prim's Needlecrafts. Doreen is her name, and she comes into our shop. I believe now I know her face. Sometimes I don't picture everybody. It's wonderful when you guys come by and see me at the shows and say, oh, by the way, I watch you guys. And then I go, you're Bonnie, or you're Kerfuffle, or I haven't met Kerfuffle yet because she's in Canada.
Yeah. And we're not going up this year.
Oh, I know.
We were gonna try.
Right, they were gonna try and go up and get my niece, but my niece has decided to stay in school for the summer, and so she will be staying in school for the summer and won't be able to come down, which is sad because I had all this camp stuff I wanted to work on with her.
She said
So.
you and Will have met her, but she just hosted a retreat.
I think I know exactly who you are. Cool. All right. Excellent. So the next time you do that, will you come in and we need to talk. Anyway. Okay. Cool. So, yeah. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Not this evening.
So be watching for Mystery 50 information coming very, very soon to a Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel near you, named QuiltNCode. So subscribe, and all that other YouTube, Facebook, Instagram stuff, so that you too can get those messages about what we're doing because we got lots of stuff. We got stuff in the plans, but boy, it's hard work. Oh, I can't keep up.
The hardest part is coming up with a different drink.
Right. Oh, and the hardest part is no, that's not the hardest part. He loves this coming up with a different drink each time.
It's coming up with the theme. That's the hard part.
The theme is the hard part. It wasn't hard for you this month.
No. When the wind tried to blow the doors off the building the other day, I was like, okay, what are wind-based cocktails?
So, yeah, that's how he comes up with it. He comes up with, what's going on this month, and then he comes up with a
Yeah, I don't
drink.
think there's a Sasquatch
Drink.
cocktail.
We do have a Sasquatch festival coming up in August.
Something
Right.
chocolate.
Ooh,
Oh, what?
something chocolate. Mom wants something chocolate. What was that?
So Kyla was saying that for the Bigfoot, instead of I told you about this one. It's not the fuzzy navel; it's a hairy belly button. It's where you do get peach whiskey instead of peach schnapps because
Right.
it makes it a little dirty. So it's a hairy belly button instead of a fuzzy navel.
I'm so glad you all joined us for this absolutely nutty evening.
Victoria says fuzzy navel. So Vicky.
Vicky. So, yeah, fuzzy navel is Rebecca's
Right.
favorite drink.
But she doesn't like whiskey, so I don't
Right.
think she'd like the hairy belly button.
No. Okay. I think we're done for this evening. I'm going to go finish my drink. And we will see you soon because I know Will's coming up with new things. And boy, do I need to get up in here and film. It's all clean and ready for me to go. It's all clean and ready for me to go. I just need to get up here. So thank you so much. What?
I said that portion
Right.
of the room.
Oh, we're still, yeah. It's
set doesn't count.
right. The rest of the set doesn't count. Like, this is the only part that matters. So, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you very soon. So keep an eye on our Facebook channel. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that other stuff, and we will see you guys really soon.
I mean, even if you just put a lime in the comment section
I'm in the comment section.
And
put your
Doreen says
lime
fine.
in the comment section.
And then you hit the enter. Okay, it's time to go.
Got her singing tonight. Just give us a lime, give us a like, give us a subscribe.
Oh, right.
And-
Things that are coming up in April.
April
Yes!
Fools.
April Fools too.
Oh,
Will and Lanny
Uh-oh.
are going to get trained to fix machines. Woohoo! Don't you dare. And my husband and I are going to be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. I'm going to go drink some more. Just aged myself. It's like I was sitting there going...
well, you were a child bride.
yes, I was absolutely a child bride. Like, child. I was child 5. It's like I won't deal with age, but when they asked me how long I'd been married to my husband the other day, and I was going... I finally said, we got married in 1995, you do the math. And then I got in the car with Lady, I'm going, 30, honey? 30 years? Oh my gosh. The poor man. Boy, what a saint. So if you all see him, then simply just say, oh, honey, I understand. So put it up with me for 30 years. And we were together for like 4 before that. Poor guy. I mean,
I don't know how much of it's putting up with you as it is putting up with the rest of us because...
I know. We sucked him right in.
Right. We were a family of 5 and then we were a family of 6.
I know, we sucked him right in. So good night. Have a wonderful evening and we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.